Hello, YouTube watchers. Welcome back. Long time no post. I have returned from my very extended hiatus with a question. Poor old man suffering from mental illness, or vindictive, controlling old man who is going to beat you one way or another? Of course, I'm referring to the story that's making news around the world. A recent incident in Toronto, a mass shooting at a condo building this past Sunday evening. Now, as a former condo board member myself, I have a great deal of sympathy for the victims. And unless you've been in their position, you really don't know what we deal with. There are some great times, and you feel like you really make a difference, and you make some amazing friendships. And then there are not such great times where you want to bang your head against a wall. And usually it has to do with residents, either owners or their tenants, and just the ridiculous complaints or requests they make. So that's what I'll be discussing right now. Later on in the video, I'll update you on where I'm at with Watts and other related topics. So on this case, fortunately, I was able to download most of what was on Francesco Villi's Facebook page, at least the relevant stuff. I just noticed it was recently shut down. If you enter his name, nothing comes up other than news stories. So I will be going through his posts and giving you some insight on what it's like to sit on your condo board and what we have to deal with as community volunteers, which is essentially what we are. So again, for those of you who have been living under a rock, there was a mass shooting at a condo building in Toronto where it appears an elderly man, 73-year-old Francesco Villi, targeted his condo's board of directors over a years-long dispute. Now, this really hit home for me because I lived in a condominium community for 15 years before I sold my unit earlier this year. Amidst the bidding wars, wasn't going to pass up that windfall. And as I said, I was on the board of directors for 5 of those years. And I can tell you, lawsuits and going to court is kind of a rite of passage when you're a board member. And I dealt with 2 lawsuits during my tenure and was under constant threat of a third by some nut job. As for being threatened, yeah. Welcome to being a board member. I'm still going through the details of this case. I can't say whether the killer's lawsuit or complaints had any merit. Certainly, on the surface, seems reminiscent of Chuck from Better Call Saul in his electromagnetic condition. Best series ever. Like, maybe not the best series ever, but I highly recommend you watch it. But kind of sidebar, I wonder if this guy Francesco had a microwave in his unit, and if he did, I wonder if it was plugged in. But anyhow, yeah, but after my experience on the board and living in a condo building, I will never, ever own another condo. So over the next probably few weeks, I guess information's going to start trickling out. I'll be covering the case of this condo board killer and also give you a peek behind the curtain on how these corporations are run and what we as board members have to deal with on a regular basis, like people sticking their hands down their pants and smearing feces on elevator walls, to others complaining that the sound of their neighbor's cats walking across the floor is bothersome. These are true stories, and not even the worst of them. Just 2 that popped into my head on the fly. So I guess I should take a minute and explain where the heck I've been for the last year. I was so psyched. I had a Mama Watts video ready to go. She wrote a little book about her experiences with her horrible daughter-in-law, and I laid out all of my research and talking points, and then I accidentally deleted the file. I was completely deflated. And around that same time, I got a little, or rather a lot, sidetracked when I decided to dive a little deeper into Shanann, and ended up down this weird wormhole of anti-MLM videos and how her involvement in Thrive affected her finances, marriage, and how she parented her children. It's really interesting, and I'll be putting something together on that topic because so many people are misinformed about Shanann's business and the whole business of multi-level marketing, and just how much money, or how little money, she really was making, and how much she would have to put back into that business to keep it afloat. It was like a house of cards. But anyhow, there's still so much to cover, and I will be continuing to make videos on that case. So stay tuned for this story, along with more Watts and true crime and MLM commentary, because if you know, you know. They are a wealth of content. And definitely, I want to post a story of a Facebook scam that I played along with and traced back to some sketchy operation in Nigeria, of course. But yeah, until then, stay tuned, stay safe, especially if you live in Toronto, and share your thoughts and suggestions below.